Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a very interesting coin, the 1967 Washington quarter. Now I know what you're thinking, it's just a regular old quarter, right? But what if I told you that some of these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, some collectors believe a special one could be worth up to $15,000. Let's go back to the 1960s for a bit. In 1965, the United States Mint made a big change to how coins were made. Before that, quarters were made with silver, but the price of silver started to go up. People were collecting and hoarding silver coins because they were worth more than face value. To stop this, the mint decided to take silver out of most coins. So starting in 1965, the quarter was made using what's called a clad composition. That means it's made with layers of copper core in the middle and outer layers of copper and nickel. The coin still looked silver-colored on the outside, but there was no real silver in it. The 1967 quarter is one of those clad coins. Over 1.5 billion of them were made, so they are very common. Most 1967 quarters you find today are only worth face value 25 cents unless they're in great condition or have some kind of error. One more thing that makes this year a little different is that between 1965 and 1967, the mint didn't use any mint marks. So you won't see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on 1967 quarters. That's totally normal, so don't worry if yours doesn't have a mint mark. Now let's talk about the value. A regular 1967 quarter that's been used in everyday life and has scratches or wear is usually just worth 25 cents. But if the coin is in really good condition, what collectors call uncirculated, then it might be worth a few dollars, maybe $5, $10, or even more depending on how clean and sharp it is. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and the higher the number, the better the condition. A coin graded MS-65 or higher means it has no wear and only very small marks. If you have a 1967 quarter graded MS-67 or MS-68, now you're talking about a coin that could be worth hundreds or even thousands, especially if it's really rare or special in some other way. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1967 quarters have errors, mistakes that happened when the coin was being made. These errors can make a coin really valuable, because they're rare and unique. Not all errors are worth a lot, but some definitely are. So let me tell you about the kinds of errors that people look for. One common error is called a clipped planchet. That's when part of the coin is missing, like a curved piece is cut off from the edge. This happened when the blank discs used to make coins were punched too close together. If the clip is big and the coin is in good condition, it could be worth a few $100s or more. Another error is an off-center strike. That's when the coin wasn't properly lined up with the machine that stamps the design. So part of the design is off to the side or even missing. If it's only slightly off, it might not be worth much. But if it's way off center and still shows the date, those can be worth $100, $200, or more. Another rare error is when a quarter is struck on the wrong type of metal. For example, there have been 1967 quarters found that were struck on a penny blank that's a much smaller and copper-colored disc. Those kinds of coins are extremely rare, and if they're in good shape, they can sell for thousands of dollars. One example sold for over $2,000. There's also something called a double die error. That's when the design on the coin looks doubled, like the letters or numbers appear to have a shadow or second image. This happens when the die that stamps the coin gets misaligned. A 1967 quarter with a strong double die error on the front side sold for over $14,000 in 2021. That's one of the highest known prices for this coin. Some coins have errors because of how the layers of metal were applied. These are called missing clad layer coins. Basically, part of the top layer didn't stick to the coin, and you can see the copper core showing through. If the error is clear and the coin is in nice shape, it could be worth several $100s. There are also other more unusual errors like die cracks, die breaks, or capped die strikes. These are more technical, but basically, something went wrong with the machine or the metal, and the result is a coin with a weird, distorted design. Some of these can also be worth hundreds or more. Besides regular coins and error coins, there's another special type of coin from 1967 called a special mint set coin, or SMS. These were made for collectors and were not meant for circulation. The mint didn't make regular proof sets in 1967, so they offered these instead. The coins in SMS sets usually have a shinier, better strike and look nicer than regular coins. Some even have a special frosty look on the raised parts and a shiny background that's called a cameo or deep cameo finish. These coins, especially in perfect condition, can sell for $100, $500, or sometimes over $1,000 if they're graded MS68 with deep cameo. These coins didn't come out of regular rolls or pocket change, though they came from sets sold by the mint, so you'd have to buy a set or find someone who had one. So you're probably wondering, is it really possible for a 1967 quarter to be worth $15,000? The answer is yes, but it's very rare. Only a few coins have ever sold for that kind of money, and they were either major error coins, super high-grade examples, or had some combination of both. If you find a normal 1967 quarter in your change, chances are it's not worth that much. But if it looks strange, like it's off-center, missing part of the design, the letters look doubled, or the metal looks weird, you might have something special. If you think you have a valuable coin, you should get it checked by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if your coin is real, what condition it's in, and what kind of error it has. Grading companies seal the coin in a clear plastic holder with a label, and that makes it easier to sell or keep safe. Coins that are graded and certified are trusted more by collectors and usually sell for higher prices. There's also a lot of fake coins out there, so be careful. Some people try to make coins look like errors by damaging them on purpose, filing the edges, or using chemicals. But real errors have certain patterns that experts can spot. That's why professional grading is so important if you're serious about collecting or selling. Now let's go back and imagine you do have one of these rare coins. Maybe it's a double die, or struck on the wrong metal, and it's in mint condition. You get it graded, and it comes back as MS67 or higher, and confirmed as a major error. That's the kind of coin that might sell for thousands of dollars, maybe even $10,000 or more if collectors are excited about it. Those kinds of coins are like lottery tickets, extremely rare, but they're out there. So to wrap things up, the 1967 Washington quarter is mostly a common coin, but there are exceptions. In everyday condition, it's usually just worth face value. In uncirculated condition or from a special mint set, it could be worth a few dollars, maybe more if it's a perfect example. And in rare cases, if you have a major mint error like a double die, off-metal strike, or extreme misprint, your coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or possibly even $15,000 to the right collector. If you enjoy looking through coins or collecting change, it's always worth taking a closer look. You never know what you might find, especially if you check closely for errors and unusual features. Coins can carry hidden history and value right in your pocket. So go check your change, pull out that old box of coins, and see if you've got a 1967 quarter hiding somewhere. It might just be a regular coin, or it might be a little piece of treasure. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about coins worth money. See you next time.